Hi everyone. We are going to be talking about cap sleeve. We have two types of cap sleeve. We have the half cap sleeve and the full cap sleeve. These are all cap sleeve, but there are two different types and two different ways of cutting them out. The half cap sleeve stops half of your armhole. Let me use this to illustrate. The half cap sleeve stops halfway. It starts from the shoulder and stops halfway, but the full cap sleeve goes full into the armhole. So these are the two different types. The half will stop halfway. This is a small bodice, but just for you guys to understand what I mean, it will stop halfway of the armhole, but the full cap sleeve goes round into the armhole. So we are discussing cap sleeve, and I'll be demonstrating how to cut. This is the most requested sleeve I have been asked to do. A lot of people have asked me about this particular one. This is a common one and it's like everybody knows it. But for this full cap sleeve, this is what I will be demonstrating. So let's get to work. So here I have my pattern paper. This is the shoulder line. This is the folded part. So this is my shoulder line. So the first thing you're going to do is to draw your starting line. We are going to have a starting line. This is our starting line. Every pattern must have a starting line. So after drawing your starting line, you're going to decide the length of your sleeve, the height of your cap. Mostly it's between 3.5 to 4, depending on how you want it to be. So the height, that is from the shoulder point to this point, that is the height of your cap sleeve. So for me, the height of my cap sleeve is going to be 3.5. Now, whatever is your height, whatever length you want to use for your cap sleeve, add half an inch. We'll be removing this half inch later as we go on, but whatever you decide, if you're using 3, add half inch. If you're using 4, add half inch. You will remove it at the end of the drafting of the pattern. So here we are going to use 3.5 plus half inch, that will be 4. So we are going to mark, this is 4, and you extend this line to the end. Now, where your cap height stops, you are going to extend it by 1 more inch. So you are going to add 1 inch and draw a straight line. Extend it by 1 more inch and draw a straight line. The next thing you're going to do is to decide your bicep measurement. That means your round your arm, the bicep. Your bicep measurement. What is your bicep measurement? For this particular child, the bicep measurement is 4. Now, whatever is your bicep measurement, you add 2 inches to it. The reason why I'm adding these 2 inches is so that I will have gathers. I don't want my cap sleeve to fit into the armhole exactly like that. This is a full cap sleeve, and you will want to have some little allowance at the shoulders, even if it's very tiny. So what I do is, whatever is my cap sleeve, I'm going to whatever is my bicep, I am going to add 2 inches to it. Whatever is my bicep, I'm going to add 2 inches to it. So my bicep is 4, that is round arm, round curve. It's 4, and I'm adding 2 inches, going to give me 6. So I will be marking my 6 inches here, and I'll also mark it on this our 1 inch extension, and then you will draw and match them together. The next thing you're going to do is, at this point, the height of your cap sleeve, you're going to draw a straight line to meet this bicep line. You draw a straight line from this height to meet the bicep line. Now, the next thing you are going to do is to find the middle point of this line. So we are going to find the middle point of this line. This is our middle point. You find the middle point of this straight line. On this line, this is where we are going to create our armhole curve. So the first half, which gets to the shoulder, you are going to curve it outward by 1/2 inch, and this side that enters down to the armhole, you are going to curve it 1/2 inch inside, 1/2 inch here outside, 1/2 inch inside. So what are we going to do? You are going to come to this line and extend it, move it outward by mark 1/2 inch here. It's for every age. It's whether, no matter the age you are doing, you go in here, or should I say go outward by 1/2 inch, to help you create that curve that fits into the armhole. So you can choose to mark 1/2 inch outward to guide you if you're not using a roller, or you can just do it the way I'm doing it. So for me, this is my 1/2 inch from here. Sorry, the mouth of the marker is wide, so our markings are going to be wide. Then you are going to going inward. I hope you can see. This is to create that curve. So this is our curve. This is our curve. You can still use your free hand and sketch it. Now the next thing you're going to do is, you remember I told you to add whatever was your cap height, you're going to add 1/2 inch. So now we are going to remove that 1/2 inch. We are going to mark this 1/2 inch. You mark 1/2 inch, the 1/2 inch you added, you mark it. Then what is your bicep circumference? Our bicep circumference, here we added 2 inches to our bicep circumference. Now we are creating the curve that stands around your bicep. So the bicep measurement is 4. This time around, we're going to add 1 inch to our bicep measurement to create that ease. This is it. If you look at our cap, it's curved. It is not a straight, this line is curved. And that was why we added 1/2 inch, so that we will create this curve that you see here. So now our bicep is 4 plus 1, that is 5. So you are going to try and create a curve on 5 and mark where the curve will stop. I hope you can see. This is our curve. This is me. You put your tape in a curve form from this point where you have marked 1/2 inch, that is 5. Then try to curve it on this line and mark it. This is the curve. Then you can use your ruler or your free hand and create this curve. If you want it to be deeper, you can deepen it. The curve is, there is no standard for this curve. It's just how you want it. Then, where your curve, you know the bicep is 4 plus 1 inch, that is 5. The 1 inch is for ease. You don't want it to be too tight. So you create this curve. Then from where this curve stops to where we marked our 1/2 inch inwards and created the curve that fits into the armhole, there you are going to draw this line from here to meet it here. And we have created our cap sleeve. Now we are going to cut it out. If you look at this sample, it is curved. So we are going to cut it out. This is our full cap sleeve. You can see how curved it is here. It is not straight, it is curved. This is, if you want it to be deeper, you can still deepen it. If you want it to be straight, you can just cross it, and some people still like it straight. I like it curved. So if you want it to be curved, you can make it curved. If you want it to be straight, you can make it straight. Now, there are so many methods people use in achieving this. This is just my own method. This is how I draft out my patterns to create this cap sleeve. Now, for instance, if you want your cap sleeve to have more gathers, this is where I transfer I transfer it to another sheet and increase the upper part so that I will have enough gathers. So in this situation, what am I going to do? I am going to slash this cap sleeve. I am going to cut it. I'm going to slash it like this. Then I will transport it on another paper and widen these spaces. I am trying to transfer my cap sleeve so that I can have, oh, that's cut, but it doesn't mean we can still get it. I am trying to transfer this so that I can have, I'll be using pins. I didn't actually want to cut it, but it has cut, so no problem. I'll be using pins to pin it. If you want your gathers to be just small, you can leave it the way we have drafted it. But if you want to increase your gathers, mine now, I want to increase it. If you want to increase it, this is it. If you want to increase it, this is how you will transfer it. Increase it at the up, 1.5 inch. This is just a free sketching, so you're going to try and make it. This is just an explanation for you guys to understand. So you're going to make your own properly and draw it very well. So after this, you are going to cut. So let's go ahead and cut it. Let me remove all these pins. Bear in mind that different methods are used to cut this. Different people use different ways. This is how I do mine. And this is just rough. By the time you put it together, this is what you get. Even for the first one we did, a little gathers. The front armhole is usually shorter than the back armhole. So always remember, I didn't demonstrate that, but normally when we are doing gathers, when I'm drafting a pattern on a sleeve that have so much gathers, I don't bother to remove that front side. But when I'm drafting a sleeve that is going to fit into the armhole with no gathers, that is where we remove from the front armhole and make the front shorter than the back. But in this case, I didn't do it. Why? Because of I've added gathers. And personally, when I am adding gathers to my sleeve, I don't usually do that. I only do it for armholes that sleeve that are going to fit into the armhole. So this is it. So I will cut out this pattern and I will transfer it and we'll go to the machine and sew for you guys to see. Okay, now we are going to cut out our cap sleeve on a paper. I have this piece of fabric here which I'll be using. This is the cap sleeve. This is a small piece of cotton I'll be using for the lining. So let's place it out. You can choose to pin it to hold it. Remember to add all your sewing allowances. Remember to add your sewing allowance. I love piping. You just pipe it. You can choose not to do so. You can do so. When you're cutting, remember to add your sewing allowance, and also remember to cut out your lining too. We'll be placing our lining. These are scraps that we'll be using. This is my lining. I will be cutting out my lining too, the same way So we'll go to the sewing machine and we'll sew it out. Let's go to the machine. Now you can choose to make these gathers less. You can choose. For me, I like it like this, but you see those samples, other samples online, you will see that here it's more. So based on the drafting we did, if you don't want so much gathers here, there is no need transferring and slashing the pattern and transferring it to another paper to increase it. So if you don't want your gathers to be much here, you can leave it the way we drafted out on the pattern. But for me, I like my gathers up here. So it's like I've used one stone to kill two birds. I'm explaining two things here. It's either you have gathers here or you don't want gathers here, or you want it little. So if you want it little, you can just leave it as the way we drafted out the pattern. But if you want it like mine, you can go ahead and slash the pattern and expand it so that you will have more gathers. So this is just a demonstration. You can go ahead and now seal the armhole. This is just so let's go ahead and finish it up. You can see that at the armhole it's just small, it's not big. So this is a full cap that goes into the armhole, and this is what you see on most of my dresses. I don't like that half cap. I like this one more. Most of my dresses, these are the kind of cap sleeve I make on them. So this is all about the full cap sleeve.